Those years in quest of honor mine. Chapter 43. Xian Kangxin thought to herself that the influential people in the capital all appear sanctimonious, but their hearts are the opposite. In private, they do all sorts of filthy things. She didn't forget to make use of every second and every inch, saying, although the capital is flourishing, what kind of people are they? After you marry Quafu, return to Jianan, so that you won't learn their bad habits and fight with each other. Realization struck her. Don't copy what they do after seeing it. How could you beat Quafu in a fight? Zhonwan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. First, let's not talk about me. This matter is definitely a rumor. He's not that kind of person. Xian Kangxin turned to him, bewildered. Just now, you kept giving excuses for young Prince Yu. Do you know him? A smile graced his lips. I do know him. Xian Kangxin thought for a moment. And then she understood. You knew him when you were young, right? Have you two spoken again? Do you know him very well? Zhonwan lowered his head, looking at his left hand. For a short while, he felt regretful. If he weren't in Xian Kangxin's presence, he feared he would have accidentally revealed the truth. He and Yushi didn't just know each other. We're not very close. He's the apple of the Emperor and Royal Princess Angguo's eyes. People like us dare not be close to him. A smile appeared on his lips. Enough. Go take a rest. I still have some matters to attend to. After Xian Kangxin returned to her courtyard, Zhonwan looked at his left hand. He didn't dare to think of things he shouldn't be thinking. He forced himself to calm down. The rumor about someone climbing over the wall to a residence in the middle of the night, and picking up and hitting another person, was probably referring to himself. However, these things happened merely 2 days ago. How could they have spread so much and so quickly? There was definitely someone at the back adding fuel to the fire. Yushi's subordinates were willing to die for him. No matter what it was, as long as Yushi ordered them, they would fulfill it to the best of their ability. Would these kinds of people gossip about Yushi? And it was even such an outlandish gossip. Since that was the case, besides the families that didn't care about reputation and pushed out their daughters, which good family would give their daughter to Yushi? A few days ago, Yushi's marriage prospects were being discussed. And now, such a thing occurred. The person who did this had a bad heart, unwilling to let Yushi's marriage run smoothly. Who could it be? Not many people would know that someone jumped over the wall in the middle of the night to teach him a lesson. Yet this news was spread so quickly. It was evident that many spies had been inserted into Yushi's residence. Zhonwan sucked in a breath, from his eyes a flash of light glinted. It didn't matter if that was true. First, he had to take care of those things. Zhonwan called for someone and gave them some instructions. Then he said, after you've finished this task, tell him to return to Jianan and stay there. After he killed the rumor, Zhonwan noticed that it was still early. Not wanting to waste time, he prepared to meet with Tang Ming again. Last time, Zhonwan had been both upset and indignant. There were many things he didn't manage to clear up. Although he didn't trust Tang Ming completely, this Shixing of his was aware of a lot of things. Zhonwan wanted to understand clearly the events of the past. Now, the best method was to meet with Tang Ming. Zhonwan had someone prepare a carriage. Unexpectedly, Lin Si was in the stable feeding the horses. Hearing that Zhonwan needed a carriage, Lin Si personally led a horse to the carriage to prepare it up. He made his way to the outer courtyard and gestured to Zhonwan, "Where are you going?" "Out of the city." Zhonwan looked at Lin Si's servant get up and couldn't refrain from laughing. "You're supposed to hide and rest here, so why are you working as a stable boy? Change your clothes." "I'll leave myself." Lin Si drew his brows together, then pointed to the sky. Then he spread his hand wide, his fingers pointing to the ground. After that, he pointed to Zhonwan. He brought his hands in front of him facing up, then flipped them to face down. Then he raised one hand and pointed outside. All that meant was, the weather is poor outside. It would probably rain later. Why are you leaving the city? Zhongyuan paused. He did not mention Tang Ming. He wasn't trying to hide things from Lin Si, but he felt that Lin Si and Xianjing would make up soon. He feared that before they made up, if Lin Si helped Zhongyuan do things for Yushi, then things might not turn up well should they have disagreement in the future. Lin Si gestured, "You can't even stand being tossed around right now. What would happen if you get sick again? Just leave it to me. He would be seeing Yushi tomorrow." Zhongyuan indeed did not want to fall ill again. After a moment of thought, he said, "All right. I'll write a letter. Deliver it to someone for me and bring me their response. Don't let the letters fall in another's hands in between." Zhongyuan returned to his residence, wrote the letter, and handed it to Lin Si. Lin Si did not hook up his horse to the carriage, slipping the letter into his breast pocket. Then he left, pulling the horse along. The next day, a few old eunuchs arrived at the side courtyard of Prince Yu's estate from the palace. A divider screen separated them from Yushi as they rebuked Yushi in a soft voice. On the other side of the divider screen, Yushi sat on his desk reading his books, not the slightest bit affected. Fourth Prince Xianjing, fifth Prince Qianqiang, and the recently passed away third Prince Qianjin had all received Emperor Chang'an's rebuke before. When the princes made mistakes or were punished to house arrest, it would be these same old eunuchs that came to them that time, representing Emperor Chang'an to lecture them. All the princes would tremble in fear then. Only Yushi was different. In the past, Yushi had even fallen asleep during one of these lectures. In these past few years, these old eunuchs had done such things often. They were so used to it, they wouldn't even blink an eye when they saw it. After the old eunuch spoke for so long that he ran out of saliva, he said, "May Yeshizi control you subordinates, so that such a baseless rumor would not spread and make His Majesty unhappy." Yushi flipped a page in his book. "Tone neutral," he said, "how do you people know it's a baseless rumor? What if I did have this kind of fetish?" The old eunuch said, What fetish? It already spread throughout like wildfire outside. You really haven't heard it?" Yushi raised his head from his book, expression neutral. "I like to torment the people in my inner chamber. Like to see them cry. Like to hear them scream in pain. A few have died from my actions. You people really didn't know. Ayya, what nonsense is your honored self going on about?" Then the old eunuch persuaded with patience, "It's other people that are framing you. How could His Majesty not be able to tell?" Yushi sneered. "No one framed me. I'm this kind of person. You people don't need to blame my subordinates. Just blaming me is enough." The old eunuch stared at Yushi, pain in his heart. "His Majesty also knows you've been wronged. As a matter of fact, he only had us come here to say a few light words. But fifth prince directly received an oral decree from His Majesty, ordering fifth prince to reflect on his action in house arrest." Not a word left Yushi's lips. He placed the book on the desk and frowned. "What does this have to do with Xianqiang?" The old eunuch sighed. His helpless gaze fell upon Yushi. "Your grievance is greater. Does your honored self know where these unbearable rumors came from?" In a daze, Yushi replied, "Yes. It came from my estate. I was the one who ordered for it to spread." The old eunuchs shared a look. And then sighed again. One of them said, "Then why is your honored self still trying to absolve fifth prince? No wonder His Majesty dotes on you the most. Yushizi suffers losses because you are too honest and considerate. Too sincere." The honest and considerate Yushi looked at the old eunuch with a gaze full of malice. Just what happened? Those rumors had come from fifth prince's estate. Another sigh came from the old eunuch. A few days ago, wasn't Royal Princess Angguo trying to discuss Yushizi marriage? Fifth prince still held a grudge for the time you two argued and was still unhappy about it. So, he had someone spread such unbearable rumors every day. We even have material evidence. However, that person is no longer alive. The old eunuch glanced at Yushi profoundly. Fifth prince was so anxious that he grew furious. He said that someone had bought out the servants in his estate to frame him and he must find out who they are. But that person who spread the rumors was already dead. Think about it, how could a living person just die like that? For a moment, Yushi did not know what to say. This matter, truly had nothing to do with Xianqiang. Recently, Fifth Prince has been muddle-headed and was acting out repeatedly. Originally, His Majesty was unhappy these past 2 days. As such, he punished Fifth Prince. But it's unclear why. In passing, His Majesty instructed us to say a couple words to Yushizi, to just make a show of it. The old eunuch lightly chuckled. Yushizi has been wronged. But Yushi did not feel wronged at the slightest. He had nothing much to say anymore, waving. Yes, I know. After the old eunuchs left the room, Steward Feng stuffed pouches of money into their hands. He was so thoughtful that he escorted them all the way outside. Following that, he turned around and returned to Yushi's side. Baffled, he asked, "This?" Yushi looked up. "Did you do this? This old slave is innocent. Other than the matters concerning young Master Zhong, this old slave had never acted on my own," refuted Steward Feng in an instant. "How could this old slave decide on my own to scheme against Fifth Prince for Yushizi? This old slave doesn't have the ability to do such a huge thing." Steward Feng added, "It's not just this old slave. Even the family soldiers wouldn't dare to do such a thing. In order to spread these rumors, we thought of ways for 2 days until our heads hurt. And we also used all sorts of careful methods, which cannot see the light of day, to spread those rumors. We're already hard-pressed. Under these circumstances, how could we spread other rumors placing the blame on Fifth Prince? Even if we could, without Yushizi's consent, no one would dare to." Incredulous, Yushi then asked, "Then who was it? Who's doing all this from the shadows? I had the rumors spread myself, so why is this person doing this? This old slave finds this person very clever." After a moment of thought, Steward Feng said, "To achieve much with little effort, and not wasting any energy, this person was able to dump all the dirty water onto Fifth Prince. Their methods are also clean, and they cannot even be found, making Fifth Prince unable to explain anything and could only shoulder the blame. Moreover, they even slightly washed Yushizi clean off the matter of your fetishes. There are no disadvantages for us here." Yushi frowned. "Do I need him to wash me clean? Could this be the same person who accused Xianqiang of hiding the people of the royal mausoleum?" Steward Feng did not quite understand his words. "Who are these people of the royal mausoleum?" Impatience filled Yushi's face. "Nothing." Steward Feng changed out Yushi's tea. He smiled. "It doesn't matter who he is. It's good as long as he can help Yushizi." "Indeed. If one carefully thinks about this matter, we should have placed all traces of what we have done on someone else, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. This person took 1 step more than us. They are thorough with their actions." Yushi received the teacup from Steward Feng. Said in a low voice, "It's not 1 step. It's 2. Steward Feng stared blankly. "What else did they do?" With indifference, Yushi said, "If you were the emperor and learned of this news, would you think I went mad or would you think Xianqiang was trying to harm me?" Embarrassed, Steward Feng laughed dryly, unable to respond. "You doubt it, right? It's true that Xianqiang bears a grudge against me, and it's true that I don't care about any repercussions once I go mad. It's also true that there are people who would like using me to do their dirty work." Then, dropping an octave, he said, "However, when it's all said and done, This matter isn't anything important. It's unnecessary to look into it. The best case scenario is if Xian Qiang admits to this. First, the emperor thinks it's very possible that Xian Qiang did this. Second, if Xian Qiang is known as the person who spread these rumors, then in the future, when my marriage is being discussed, and it seems like other people would throw a fuss about my bad habit, then I can use Xian Qiang to shut them up. Yushi turned to face Steward Feng. From the start, the emperor doesn't care if I actually have this bad habit. He also doesn't care if Suan Qiang actually harmed me. Shock crashed into Steward Feng like a tidal wave. At least it seems His Majesty is even more biased toward Yushizi, striving his best to protect Yushizi's reputation. Yushi said impassively, perhaps. He drank a sip of tea. He was still angry. Just who keeps interfering with my affairs? Steward Feng smiled bitterly. How could we know right now? Yushizi, don't be impatient. As long as they don't harm you, it's fine. Feeling uncomfortable, Yushi said, his methods are too careful. It really makes people agitated. Yushizi has always been swift and decisive in handling things, though a little too rough. Steward Feng smiled. It's hard to avoid having people say your honored self is too unrestrained. It's great to have someone so thorough by your side, since they compliment you. Like what happened today. They placed the blame on Fifth Prince in passing. How great. Yushi sneered. I just want it to be quiet. I don't want anyone trying to discuss marriage with me again. This time, he could be considered unlucky. He blinked. All of a sudden, rage roared in his heart. Just what kind of person have I been dealing with today? Just what day is it now? He hasn't come. Is he not coming again? Or did he get sick again? Or did he? At that moment, a headache. Pastries. It's just Chen Shi, said Steward Feng, hurrying to coax him. It's still early, Yushizi. What else do we need to prepare? Yushi rubbed at the center of his brows. Thought for a moment, before ordering in a soft voice, go. Prepare a bit of medicine for injuries. Steward Feng's hand trembled, almost dropping the teacup. Steward Feng collected the teacup, not batting an eyelid as he advised, Yushizi, young Master Zhong's body is not healthy. Yushi averted his gaze. These past few years, who knows how he harmed himself. Rumors are rumors. Yushizi, you've always been, Steward Feng had nothing else to say. There also wasn't anything he could say about Yushi always being a certain way. He had attended to Yushi for many years, yet didn't know if he was gentle or not. However, he felt that Yushi truly might be a person who could be violent. Switching topics, Steward Feng said, in short, take your time. What you two have is eternal. Don't be in such a hurry. For the first time, Yushi did not refute the eternal comment of Steward Feng. Furrowing his brows, he said, what's such a hurry? With not very good intentions, Steward Feng flashed Yushi a smile full of insinuations. All of a sudden, realization struck Yushi. Sullenly, he said, I haven't touched him. Not understanding why Yushi was angry again, Steward Feng rushed to say, yes, this old slave has one more thing to say. Young Master Zhong's body is not in good health, and would be unable to bear those things. He won't be able to bear it? Yushi laughed in spite of himself, angered to the point of choking in anger. He's the one who keeps provoking me. As I stood next to the princess, he sized me up from head to toe again and again. If I were a young lady, I would have scolded him. Who looks at someone like that? Shameless. When I left, he went searching for me, asking if he could. Yushi turned his head and said resentfully, I can't say his words aloud. Steward Feng had no clue what had happened during the fifth 7-day set. Yushi had scared him so much that his heart thrashed against his chest. Calm your anger, calm your anger. Young Master Zhone will arrive in a little while, so Yushizi can admonish him then. End chapter. Those years in quest of honor mine. Chapter 44. It wasn't that Zhonwan didn't want to go see Yushi earlier. He had truly gotten caught up in some business. Xianjing had come knocking, rearing for a fight. Yesterday, Linxi had made a trip outside of the city for him. Linxi was worried that Zhonwan would feel anxious, so he didn't take a carriage. He personally rode a horse to make the trip. Though he was in great health, he still became fatigued. The next day, he woke up a bit later. He had just gotten out of bed, but outside, Xianjing had already entered the estate. Linxi slapped on some clothes and fled to Zhonwan's room. Zhonwan had a headache too. Why are you hiding? Aren't you going to go explain things to him? Linxi's eyes were red. He shook his head and signed, His Highness might not be here to search for me. Even if he is, I'm too embarrassed to see him again. You took advantage of him. Of course you'd be embarrassed. Though he said this, Zhonwan had always been protective of him. He wouldn't force Linxi to do anything. He softly ordered, go to Xianyu's courtyard. At most, Xianjing would only charge into Zhonwan's courtyard. He wouldn't forcefully enter Xianyu's quarters and especially Xiankangxin's side of the estate. Zhonwan straightened his clothes and fixed his hair. Then, he walked out to greet Xianjing. Zhonwan thought about Linxi's situation a few times to himself, preparing to answer Xianjing's questions. Unexpectedly, Xianjing opened his mouth and shouted furiously, Are you the one who made up all those rumors about Yushi? Zhonwan was completely at a loss after hearing this question. It had been many years since their last meeting. Zhonwan could never have expected that his reunion with Xianjing would first entail a debate about this topic. Zhonwan made to bow to Xianjing as per protocol. Xianjing angrily said, Don't give me this act. Zhonwan sighed. He didn't want to bother bowing either. He waved a hand to signal the servants to bring Xianjing some tea, doing his best to be as modest as a subordinate should. I can't fathom what Fourth Highness is talking about. These days, I've had my doors closed and haven't left. I don't actually know what's going on outside. Don't try to fool me. Xianqian has been blamed by others and can't rid himself of suspicion. Now, he's causing trouble for me. He reported me to Imperial Father, saying that I arranged for spies in his estate. He said that I'm watching the fire from the other side and that I caused him and Yushi to fight it out like a snipe and a clam. Xianjing was extremely angry. I thought and thought about it and realized that there was a great possibility that you had done this. Zhonwan. Zhonwan really had done it, but he had only done a 15th. He honestly didn't know who had done the initial first. Zhonwan sincerely stated, I truly don't know. You think I'll believe that? Xianjing felt that Zhonwan's nose wasn't a nose and that his eyes weren't eyes. You're the only one who would know what Yushi was like in bed. If you weren't the one who spilled the beans, who else could it have been? Zhonwan felt concerned. So many years had already passed. How could Xianjing still be so stupid? While thinking of a plan to shoo Xianjing away in the fastest, most polite manner, he respectfully said, I wouldn't know about young Prince Yu's intimate secrets. Xianjing laughed coldly. Back then, he bought you and stayed in the same courtyard with you for half a year. The boundaries between you two were unclear. Who would believe you if you were to say now that you're still innocent? Xianjing glanced at Zhonwan disdainfully. Your situation is contagious, isn't it? It's whatever if only you have it, but it can also spread to others, making them the same as you. Zhonwan inhaled deeply. He looked outside. Xianjing hadn't brought a lot of people with him. It wouldn't be hard keeping him here and beating him, but it would be troublesome to take care of things afterwards. Zhongyuan decided not to argue with someone who has some parts of their brain missing. He smiled and said, "It might truly be contagious. So, if your highness stays here with me, things might also end badly." Xianjing looked at Zhongyuan, visibly alarmed. He furrowed his brows. "Stop looking at me. I'm not like you. I don't have that problem." Zhongyuan nodded and said, "Let's hope so. Does your highness have anything else to ask?" "Who wants to ask you anything? I already guessed that you were the one who did it. I'm here to reprimand you. Take the blame for the things that you've done. Quit pushing it onto me." Xianjing was incredibly annoyed. "I'm not the same as Xianqiang. He's afraid of his mother's family, the prince Yu's estate, but I'm not." Zhongyuan looked at Xianjing. He felt tired having to act in front of the other. Zhongyuan was still preoccupied with going to see Yushi. He could only see the other once every 10 days, so he couldn't let his time get wasted like this. He sighed. "Your Highness. What have you actually traveled all the way here to say?" Xianjing's intentions were exposed by Zhongyuan. For a moment, he had nothing to say. He barely got a drink of tea in before furrowing his brows and saying, "Where's Lindsay? Hurry and hand him over." Zhongyuan's pupils shifted slightly. He said, "A few days ago, he truly did come." Xianjing's eyes lit up. Zhongyuan continued, "But he didn't stay here. He told me that his inappropriate actions had insulted your highness and that he had gotten kicked out by your highness. Then, he left." Xianjing froze. "To where?" "I don't know." Zhongyuan asked in response, "Didn't your highness say that you never wanted to see him again?" Xianjing had no response. He vaguely muttered, "He knows so many of my secrets. How could I let him run around freely?" Zhongyuan nodded. "Then there's nothing else to do." At the time, he was extremely dispirited and distracted. His sentences weren't even making sense. After telling me what had happened, he left. He didn't tell me where he was going to go. Xianjing observed Zhongyuan in suspicion. "Really?" Zhongyuan openly said, "I won't keep this from your highness, I'm searching for him, too. If your highness happens to find him, please tell me. That way, I'll be able to relax, too." Xianjing was silent for a moment. He agitatedly said, "I'll think about it if I can find him." Zhongyuan stared at Xianjing for a moment. He said, "Your highness, back in the day, you once wanted to buy me out of prison. Don't overthink things." Xianjing hurriedly shouted. "I was young at the time. My brain had temporarily short-circuited, which was why I had such a thought. I didn't want to touch you at all. Even if I had purchased you, I probably would have only beaten you up, then arranged for a location for you to stay at." Zhongyuan smiled. "I know. I still appreciate your good intentions all the same." Xianjing was embarrassed. Then he said, "At the time, it really was only a moment of impulse. Before I had even prepared the money, I first got scolded by my concubine mother. That would have been fine, but I also got interrogated by Yushi. Who did I piss off?" Zhongyuan abruptly looked at Xianjing. "Young Prince Yu interrogated Highness before." "Ah," Xianjing said with disdain. "The lunatic has been a lunatic since he was young." Zhongyuan's heart started beating faster. He said, "I'd like to ask your highness to go into detail." Xianjing glanced at Zhongyuan, disgusted. "Why would I talk about him?" Zhongyuan held his anger back. "If I receive news about Lindsay, I'll immediately send someone to notify your highness." Xianjing's expression froze. Xianjing pinched his nose and reminisced for a moment. He relayed everything to Zhongyuan, then added, "Tell me, hasn't he been mentally ill since young? Are normal people capable of doing such things? I told my concubine mother a long time ago. He's been weird since he was young." I also wanted to tell Imperial Father, but he was biased and refused to listen. Zhongyuan didn't have the energy to deal with Xianjing. He stood up and spoke in a daze, "Rest assured, Your Highness. As soon as I have news regarding Lin Si, I'll immediately dispatch someone to inform you." Xianjing was displeased with how suddenly Zhongyuan wanted to send him away. However, as soon as he thought of the fact that he still had official business to attend to, he didn't bother hounding Zhongyuan again. With a disdainful hum, he left. Zhongyuan looked around the courtyard twice but couldn't find Lin Si. He figured that Lin Si was in hiding, so he didn't bother searching further. He told the servants to let Xiankang's in the know. Then, he left alone. The side courtyard of Prince Yu's estate. As soon as Zhongyuan got out of the horse carriage, someone walked out and greeted him. Then, they hurriedly herded him into the inner courtyard. "Young Master Zhong, you're finally here." Steward Feng was so panicked that his forehead was covered in sweat. He quietly said, "Yu Shizi started frequently asking for the time since this morning. For some reason, just now, after asking for the time again, he suddenly became outraged. His gaze didn't even seem normal anymore. For an instant, Yu Shizi suddenly asked if there was still any Han Shi-san. Zhongyuan's heart clenched. "You didn't give any to him, right?" "Of course not. We've long since gotten rid of that kind of medicine in this estate. Our prince checked several times back in the day. There also haven't been any vendors for it in the capital for a long time. However, quite a lot of doctors know how to prepare it. If Yu Shizi wanted it, he could definitely acquire it," Steward Feng said bitterly. "Young Master Zhong, Yu Shizi hasn't consumed that thing in 2 years. Please don't mess with him anymore. We can't have him being even crazier than before." Zhongyuan furrowed his brows. Someone suddenly arrived at the estate. "I know my way." Steward Feng left. Zhongyuan walked into the study by himself. Yushi was reading. Yushi held the book in his right hand. His left hand rested on the desk. His left index finger was rapidly tapping against the surface of the desk. He seemed to be anxious about something. Zhongyuan gently heaved a sigh. He said quietly, "Yu Shizi." Yushi pressed his left palm flat against the desk and stopped moving. Yushi didn't look up. His expression was normal as he asked in a deep voice, "Why are you here so early?" The corners of Zhongyuan's lips quirked up slightly but his heart twinged with pain. Zhongyuan thought about it. He said, "I originally wanted to come earlier, but Fourth Highness suddenly arrived at our estate. I had no other choice, so some time was wasted." Zhongyuan didn't know if this was an illusion, but he felt that the furrow between Yushi's eyebrows had slightly relaxed. Yushi continued reading. He asked, "What did Xianjing want with you?" Zhongyuan sat down by himself. He said, "Fourth Highness thought that I was the one who spread those rumors about Yu Shizi a few days ago." Yushi calmly said, "It wasn't you." Zhongyuan was speechless. "Yu Shizi knows who did it?" Yushi closed his book. "Does your hand hurt?" There was still white cloth covering Zhongyuan's right hand. Yushi furrowed his brows and pushed a little bottle on the table forward. "This medicine is probably better than the one at your estate." Next to the medicine was also a white cloth that had already been folded. Zhongyuan grabbed that too. Zhongyuan sat down. He undid the cloth on his right hand and set it off to the side. Using only one hand, he unscrewed the lid of the bottle. His left hand wasn't as agile as his right. Thus, quite a bit of powder spilled. Yushi watched from afar. Zhongyuan was largely unbothered. He sprinkled some medicine onto the palm of his right hand. Much of it landed on his clothes. The powder emanated a bitter scent. Zhongyuan sneezed a few times. Displeased, Yushi looked over. Zhongyuan shook open the clean white cloth. Using his teeth to hold onto one side, he used his left hand to hold onto the other. Slowly, he circled the cloth around his right hand. In a moment of carelessness, he disturbed the wound on his right hand. Zhongyuan was in pain, he furrowed his brows and hissed. As if unable to bear it any more, Yushi stood up and walked over. Zhongyuan wanted to laugh but didn't dare to. Yushi slapped Zhongyuan's left hand away. He started bandaging the wound personally. Zhongyuan stared at Yushi and remembered what Xianjing had just said. 7 years ago, when Zhongyuan had taken medicine to feign illness, he and Yushi had given each other the silent treatment for several days. Those days, Yushi was in a bad mood, too. Each day, a cold expression was painted on his face. When he encountered Xianjing in the palace, the insensitive idiot Xianjing purposefully scooted close to Yushi and asked, enigmatically, about how he and Zhongyuan were doing. At first, Yushi disregarded him. But Xianjing was determined to be annoying. He told Yushi, if you've become sick of him, give him to me. I'll pay you half of what you paid for him. It's no big deal. Young Yushi's expression suddenly changed. It had been Xianjing's first time seeing Yushi so angry. He was extremely surprised and thought that Yushi would start fighting with him. But Yushi didn't. That day, during Imperial Preceptor Shi's lesson, when asked about his opinion regarding depraved human relationships, 15-year-old Yu Suiyu stood up and walked in front of Xianjing. As everyone watched, he furiously scolded Xianjing for being an immoral brother and friend. Yu Suiyu's words were strong and stern and he was also very loud. His scolding rendered Xianjing completely speechless. Even old Imperial Preceptor Shi was so shocked that he forgot what his lesson for today was supposed to cover. Zhongyuan looked up at Yushi. Little Suiyu, yet you still dared to say that on that day that you didn't feel anything. Yushi told Zhongyuan to place his wrist in Yushi's palm. He lowered his head and helped Zhongyuan bandage it. His expression was displeased. Done. Zhongyuan gently moved the fingers of his right hand. Yushi hadn't bandaged the wound too loosely or too tightly, it was just right. Zhongyuan thought of that serious youth. His heart palpitated with pain. Yushi-zi, Zhongyuan pressed his lips together briefly. He softly asked, today, are we not kissing? Yushi hadn't expected for Zhongyuan to suddenly say this. He froze. Zhongyuan cleared his throat, then looked down and fidgeted with the white cloth covering his right hand. Zhongyuan's head was lowered as he heard Yushi squeeze out each word individually through clenched teeth, tone disbelieving. The sun. Eyes. Still. Out. Zhongyuan closed his eyes and squeezed his mouth shut. Oh no. He had said the wrong thing again. Zhongyuan did his best to act natural. Without waiting for him to say anything, Yushi seemingly exasperatedly but also seemingly furiously said, Zhongyuan. You can never get enough, huh? Zhongyuan couldn't help himself. His ears instantly flushed red. End chapter. Those years in quest of honor mine. Chapter 45. Zhongyuan didn't want to lose face like this, but he really was unable to control his blush. He badly wanted to ask Yushi, to clarify whether he understood or not. Didn't he read those yellow books before? Shouldn't he know what never get enough meant? Zhongyuan was so angry that he could feel a headache coming on. Voice low, he said, daring to ask Yushi-zi, what is it that I can never get enough of? Startled, Yushi glanced at the doorway. Then, his gaze filled with disbelief. You actually have the guts to ask that? Zhongyuan stilled. He realized something at that moment, and said, aghast, you had your family soldier come teach me a lesson in the middle of the night. Did you have a dream where I licked you, and you got so mad that you wanted to hit me back? Yushi glanced at Zhongyuan. Not bothering to explain, he said, it's fine as long as you understand. As Zhongyuan was angered to the point of speechlessness, Yushi said, I didn't want to settle things with you before, but now. Once Zhongyuan raised his head, Yushi kissed him on the lips. Just a peck, and he separated from Zhongwan. Cold enough to freeze, he said, "Don't move." Yushi didn't let him move, yet he licked Zhongwan's lips, parting them. The moment Yushi had approached him, Zhongwan's mind went blank. Yushi placed a hand on top of his shoulder. Unable to hold himself up, Zhongwan grasped the cuff of Yushi's sleeve out of reflex. Yushi grew stiff, as if he were very fond of Zhongwan pulling him like that. His actions grew many degrees softer, gentler. Mind in a complete mess, Zhongwan could not refrain from having his thoughts run foolishly. This person was so strange. What about when he did this with his sweetheart in the future? Would they also be forbidden from moving? Wouldn't they resemble a dead person? So why did he look like that? In a daze, Zhongwan recalled when a young Yushi had burned sleeping incense for him. An alarm filled his heart. Back then, did Yushi do this kind of thing to him? He seemed as though he liked having the other party motionless. Probably not. Back then, Yushi was still very much a gentleman. Yushi brushed his tongue against Zhongwan. Finding it hard to control himself, Zhongwan turned his head to avoid it. His breathing quick and brief, he said, "Yushi-z, if you're like this, I won't be able to hold back anymore." As soon as Zhongwan looked up, he caught sight of Yushi staring at him, gaze profound. His heartstrings trembled. "Brain not functioning," he said, "if I can't hold back anymore, you'll scold me again." Yushi also appeared aroused. Frowning, he didn't want to hear Zhongwan speak, leaning down to kiss him again. Helpless, Zhongwan had no choice but to say near whisper, "Let's come to an agreement first. You can scold me, but don't scold me too harshly." "Oh, all right." Yushi stiffened. It seemed as if Yushi were repressing something, hand trembling a bit. As he gently rested his forehead against Zhongwan's, he muttered absent-mindedly, "You're only staying still because I'm forcing you." "Huh? I'm forcing you," muttered Yushi with a despondent air. "You're not doing this voluntarily. That's why you're not moving. I'm the one forcing you. I'm the one compelling you to do this. In the future when I die, you'd be pleased. You wouldn't be sad." Zhongwan's pupils trembled, pain flaring in the pit of his stomach in a flash. Slightly dazed from what they had been doing before, Yushi accidentally allowed Zhongwan to catch a glimpse of his true feelings during his youth, through the many layers of disguise. Feeling sad, Zhongwan could no longer hold back. He tilted his head up and took the initiative to kiss Yushi. Meanwhile, Steward Feng rushed towards the study from outside. Seeing the door was wide opened while it was quiet inside, he reckoned that they were studying and didn't think much about it as he directly entered the room. However, once he walked around the divider screen, a sound of surprise escaped his lips as he got scared to the point of closing his eyes and lowering his head. Yushi-z." Yushi's breathing proved rough and heavy. He glowered at Zhongwan, gripping the latter's wrist, yanking out Zhongwan's hand that was sliding down the collar of his robe in exploration. Towards Steward Feng, he said with rage, "What is it?" Suffering an extreme amount of grievances, Steward Feng had never imagined those two would not even shut the door. In broad daylight, they actually. Steward Feng forced himself to say, "Fourth Prince is here." He made a huge fuss demanding air to return Linsi. Zhongwan was speechless. After a moment of staring blankly, Yushi shouted, "What does he want from me?" "Linsi." Baffled, Steward Feng replied, "This old slave don't know." Fourth Prince said that Yushi-z must have definitely captured Linsi again. This old slave said to His Highness that recently, Yushi-z did not go outside, and absolutely did not bother with anyone. But His Highness didn't listen. He kept saying he wanted that person returned. Yushi closed his eyes to calm himself. Then he turned to Zhongwan first, anger thick in his voice as he said, "What were you touching just now?" Steward Feng was overwhelmed with shock. Red spread through Zhongyuan's face and down his neck. He glanced at Steward Feng, visibly uncomfortable. Mind unclear, Yushi had forgotten that Steward Feng was present. In a towering rage, he shouted, "Do you want me to tie your hands up from now on?" Zhongyuan almost collapsed. "Can't you see Xianjing first? Don't change the topic, Yushi turned to look at Steward Feng, angry to the point that his voice trembled. "Go. Prepare the roughest rope. Make sure you have a lot and place some in the study and inner chamber. And send some to Prince Jianan's estate. So that he can see it every day. Kill. Kill one to warn 100. As a warning to others." Unable to refrain from urging him, Steward Feng responded in haste, "Yushizi should quickly meet with Fourth Prince. Fourth Prince brought a rod with him. What if he smashes all of your honored self's porcelain treasures? The servants cannot stop him." Yushi rubbed the center of his brows. He glared at Zhongyuan. Then he turned and left. Steward Feng swallowed his saliva and fell quiet for a moment. Then, in a soft voice, he said, "Young master, you." Zhongyuan had lost a lot of face, so he didn't care anymore. "Even if I touched him a little, so what?" Steward Feng coughed and sighed. "Why did your honored self?" "Never mind. I'll go find some rope first." Steward Feng rushed off. Zhongyuan leaned against his seat in a daze, pursing his lips, which were redder than normal. He closed his eyes, the words Yushi had muttered into his ears still echoing in his mind. "If I die in the future, you wouldn't be sad." Pain filled his heart. Soft laughter escaped his lips. To believe one's own lies. Just before, when he had touched Yushi, he obviously liked it. Zhongyuan felt slightly regretful. A moment ago, he had seemed too impulsively indecent. He just hoped that in the future, he wouldn't actually be tied up. Zhongyuan's thoughts grew chaotic again. He kept his eyes shut, waiting for Yushi to return so he could explain to him. And as he sat there waiting, he ended up waiting for 2 hours. Xianjing believed without a doubt that if Lin Si was not present at Prince Jianan's estate, then he must be in Prince Yu's estate. Yushi had a past record of capturing Lin Si, so the more Xianjing had thought of it, the more Yushi seemed like the culprit in his eyes. He had even thought that Yushi had tortured Lin Si to his last breath, where death was a better option than living. As such, he had come to the decision to search the estate and even the Dali temple. Yushi was simply baffled. He neither captured Lin Si nor could he allow Xianjing to search his estate. He was already angry at the start, and did not have the patience to talk to Xianjing. The two argued non-stop. Yushi's mind had already gone messy from Zhongyuan, and his words were somewhat incoherent. "Once every 10 days. Once every 10 days. Yet you actually still want to delay me? Do you think of him that constantly?" A sound of surprise left Xianjing's lips as realization struck him. Furious, he said, "Just who's the one thinking of him?" "Sure enough, he's here. Let me search." "I don't dare to search Prince Yu's estate, but is that the case for your side courtyard? If your conscience is clear, then let me search." Yushi was caught in a dizzy spell. In the study within his inner courtyard was a Zhongyuan who had been kissed silly by him. He couldn't understand why he was here quarreling with Xianjing instead. Once his mind cleared up a little, he ordered his servants to shoo away Xianjing through the main door. Naturally, Xianjing would not give in. As he was driven out, he shouted that he would have Emperor Chang'an find justice for him. When Yushi returned to the inner courtyard, it was already pitch black outside. Steward Feng prepared a table of delicious food, and did not forget to place a plate of braised venison in front of Zhongyuan. They did not talk when they partook in their meals. After dinner, the two sat in the study. They seemed as they had been back in their youth, one person sitting in front of a desk and the other sitting on a low couch with a small Kong table before him. Most of the texts in Yushi's study were spring books about him and Zhongyuan. Zhonwan pulled one out in passing, and with one glance his face flushed. However, Yushi was reading them very seriously, so much so that he would even annotate at the side. Zhonwan gasped in amazement. He really wanted to go over there for a look. Just what kind of assessment could Yushi even come up with for these types of books? However, he didn't dare to say anything. He closed the book, gazed at Yushi for a moment. He said in a low voice, "Yushi-Z." Yushi paid him no mind. Zhonwan thought for a moment, before softly saying, "The moment I arrived here today, Steward Feng informed me that you wanted him to give you Hanshi-san." Yushi's brows furrowed for a bit. He looked up. What else did he say? Nothing much. I was just curious, said Zhonwan cautiously. How does it feel after eating those things? I've never tried them before. Yushi raised his head again to glance at Zhonwan. In a cold voice, he said, "Do you want to try some?" After a bit of consideration, Zhonwan said, "I'm just curious." That's it? Word has it that you've taken Hanshi-san before for less than half a year. Looks like it doesn't do much. Is it true that it's actually not harmful? Yushi looked down. There were some harmful side effects. Striving his hardest to be tactful, Zhonwan said, "Like what? Does one's temperament become irritable? I remember that in the past, an emperor liked taking those drugs and ate so much that he went crazy, easily angered and suspicious. In the end, his sons killed him," said Yushi with an air of indifference. A light sigh left Zhonwan's lips. Yushi also knew about this. As Zhonwan thought about how he could advise Yushi to become a better person, Yushi softly said, "It's not because of Hanshi-san that my temperament changed." Zhonwan was struck speechless. Lifting his head again, Yushi glanced at Zhonwan. In a gloomy tone, he said, "But after I took it for half a year, my mind indeed grew more chaotic. Hanshi-san isn't something good. You should stop thinking about it." Just as Zhonwan was about to speak, Yushi once again said impassively, "Even if I'm crazy, no one can touch me. At the very least, no one can touch me now. But you're different." Zhonwan was angered to the point of laughing. "I don't want to try it. I just wanted to advise you," said Zhonwan in a low voice. "I'm afraid that you'll truly turn mad. And then one day when you're unhappy, you'll kill me." Shocked, Yushi stared at him in bewilderment. "What do you think about all day?" He lowered his head and returned to reading. "I haven't turned that crazy yet." "Then what about in the future? If you keep taking Hanshi-san, a few years later. When Emperor Dao was 30 years old, after a short period of taking it, he became completely mad. When you get into one of your moods, and I accidentally sneeze, you'll might have me slaughtered. Or maybe because I ate too much, you'd find me an eyesore. Or because my walking posture wasn't proper enough. Or maybe even," Zhonwan's voice dropped lower and lower, "because I touched you a little by accident. You still dare to talk?" Yushi stared at Zhonwan incredulously. "I've never seen you like this before." Recalling what happened during the day, Zhonwan felt awkward. He rushed to lower his head and turn the page of his book. After a good while, Yushi said impatiently, "Fine. I won't eat it anymore." End chapter.